and a shoulder strap that I have on my backpack and head up the... Ooh. I just heard a train. Oh, shit. You know, it really is true what they say about us guys. You know, we never really grow up. Our toys just get bigger and more expensive. So it is a little bit chilly today, just this morning. Not too bad, just below 50 degrees. It is supposed to get up in the 60s today. It is still relatively early, so I wanted to dress appropriately. I might not need this a little bit later. Oh, come on. Like, I wasn't going to get one of these things eventually. So before we actually head out on the trail, I want to go over a couple things real quick. I'm not going to do a full review on this. This is the Hiboy S2 Pro. It is an electric scooter. It's got a range of 25 miles at a max speed of 19 miles per hour. When I was in Pittsburgh with Jay, he had brought one of his. He has a couple of them, and he brought this one to try out. I had also tried it out once before down at the little cookout he had back in the summertime, and I just loved it, especially when him and I got to tool around Pittsburgh, go across the river, and just, you know, it was a great experience. So with the weather, with the winter being, like I said earlier, next to nothing this year, it was a no-brainer to pick one of these up after I got back from Hawaii. So I got this all charged up, and what I like about this particular scooter is that it has solid tires. In other words, they're not inflated, they're solid rubber the whole way around. The only downside to having a scooter or anything obviously with inflated tires is that if you get a puncture, you're screwed. This I get a little more reliability out of these tires. Unfortunately, I am pretty limited with this particular scooter where I can go, the different types of trails I can go on. When Jay and I went across the river that one time, there was some pretty rocky gravel, you know, terrain that I went over. And let's just say it's a good thing I didn't have any fillings in, because they would have fallen out from bouncing around too much. So what I'm going to do is take the camera here and mount you guys in a shoulder strap that I have on my backpack and head up the... Ooh. I just heard a train. Oh, shit. Well, how about that? All the times that I came down here over the last 2 weeks and haven't been able to catch anything, we got one going by. And here it is Sunday. I didn't think we were going to get one, but looks like that's heading back to Harrisburg. It's Norfolk Southern, and it's just a bunch of empty open hopper cars for transporting coal, I'm assuming. But yeah, not a cloud in the sky. So that little short distance that I went was from the parking lot where the trail starts, all the way to where I'm at right now. We are under Route 30, which is the Wrights Ferry Bridge. And it's a good thing I packed my gloves, because even though it is going to be a little bit warmer today, riding down on that scooter was actually pretty chilly, and I'm going to throw some gloves on as we make our way up the river trail here. Morning. Okay. Good. All right. So as we come to a little stop here, and I'm going to do this periodically as we come down the trail or come up the trail. This is one of many furnaces that are all over the Susquehanna Valley here. The one we passed early on was the St. Charles Iron Furnace, I believe is what it was called. I've done video there before. But this is the Henry Clay Furnace, and this is what's left of the foundation here. So let me do this. Slide the guys out there. Hopefully there's not too much vibration noise. And one of the other things that we rode under right behind me here is a place called Chickies Rock, and I've been there before. I've been to all the places up and down this trail, just haven't done this particular trail like this before. But that's a really nice little short hike. There's a parking area. It's maybe 10 minutes to the overlook. You can really see quite a bit of the Susquehanna River as we get further up. I'd like to get, I'm going to see how far I can get. I want to maybe take the battery down to about half and then make my way back before, kind of judge it and see how far I can go. You know, you would think that riding on a scooter really wouldn't be, that much exercise, but, you do have to use a bit of your core to kind of maintain your balance, and it's quite a lot of fun. Got a little bit of stream here. It looks like we have a foundation over there. And so here's the scooter. It's pretty basic. It's big enough to hold me. I know the weight limit on this is about 220 pounds. I'm slightly over that, slightly. But it held up just fine when I was on Jay's, out in Pittsburgh. Price tag of this one, I got a really good deal. It came in, I think, $463. Normally they're just over. This particular model is just over 500, but e-bikes and scooters are all range of prices. They have ones that are much cheaper, just like your real basic commuters that you would use to get around a city. And then they have some other off-road ones that you can pay thousands of dollars for. But I think for the rail trails here in Pennsylvania, something like this is perfect. There's another furnace right there, or that might be a bridge. Not sure. Oh, here's another massive abutment right here. I wonder if this was part of a furnace or a factory as well. Wow. Morning.
Did you do the weekend?
So yeah, we could see all through there. Wow, I've never seen this before. And there's no like historical marker that I could see on this one. We'll take a closer look on the way back. Another cool feature of this scooter here is that it has what's called regenerative braking. It has an e-brake on here that if you're going at high speeds or going downhill and you use your e-brake, it actually recharges the lithium-ion batteries. It also has a manual handbrake as well. So the stopping capabilities of this particular scooter are excellent. So another stop we have here, we came down to the Chickies Mansion and Chickies #1 Furnace, hence the name of this big area right here. It's called Chickies Rock. And just down there were a couple of guys getting ready to do some rock climbing up the face of that mountain there, or hill. But I think we may be able to, at the rate I'm going, we will be able to make it down to maybe even the White Cliffs of Conway. I'm not sure if I'll make it that far, but we're pretty far already. Just like in Pittsburgh, I'm having an absolute ball. Now, there are a lot of different rail trails all throughout Pennsylvania. There's one not too far from where I live. It's just called the Rail Trail. Nick has been there several times down at the Howard Tunnel, which I will definitely get to see. And then as well south of me is the Enola Low Grade Trail, which I think is a total of, that might even be over 20 miles long, I'm not sure. But I cannot staying. Wow, words, difficult. So we're just passing the 2-mile mark, so not too far. And you can see off in the distance there, the 2 bridges plus the 2 giant windmills. I don't even know if that's going to come up on camera, it's so far away. But that's pretty much where we were down there. That's where we started. Now, I may come back down here, or on my way back, I may send the drone up, because over where I'm pointing there is a mansion on top of that hill that I've always wanted to fly the drone over ever since I got it. You can see it from all over on this side of the river and the other side. And it's pretty, it's something. I think this may be the best vantage point right here to take off and check it out. Yeah, and this is another thing too, guys, with riding a scooter around, and what we Jay and I experienced when we were down in Pittsburgh is that when you're on the road, you follow all the same laws, just like if you're riding a bicycle. You follow all the same laws that a car does. So you stop at stop signs, you stay, you ride with the traffic, and pretty much just be as safe as you can be. Well, I just looked on the map, and it's about 5.5 miles back to the van at Columbia River Park, so that would be about 11 miles total. So I think each time I go, I'm going to push it a little bit further and see how far I can go. I just don't want to run out of juice while I'm still far away and have to walk the entire way back. Be good exercise, but tiring. So I did stop at that little spot there, and I hope you guys can hear me okay. I did fly the drone a little bit, but as soon as I got up to around 350 feet, I started getting this high wind warning. And what I didn't realize is, with it being so bright, I couldn't really tell where I was over the river, and it actually blew the drone quite a bit further because of how strong the wind was. When I started bringing it back, or what I thought was bringing it back, the little ticker on the bottom that shows me my distance from the drone kept getting bigger, or the number got larger and larger, hence moving further away from the home spot. So luckily I was able to bring it back. I want to say I had about 20% battery life left, and I'd got nowhere near that that mansion that's up on top of the hill there. And that's one of the things about flying a drone, is that it can be really deceiving when you're on the ground, just to think how things don't look that far away, when in all actuality they really are. I mean, I want to say that thing's probably a couple miles away from me, so to even get relatively close, I wouldn't have been able to do it with this wind. And it's, I mean, it's breezy, but it's not too bad. So hence one of the reasons why I didn't fly a whole lot when I was in Hawaii. The wind there was just ridiculous. And it's kind of got me thinking a little bit about possibly selling this drone and waiting until DJI releases a Mavic Air 3, which I'm hoping will be released this year. My Mavic Air 2 that I had, I really enjoyed. It's a heavier drone. You do have to register it when it's over 250 grams, but you do get a little more peace of mind because it is a physically heavier drone, and I felt more comfortable flying the Mavic Air 2 in higher wind situations as opposed to the Mini 3. This thing is damn near light as a feather, and I get a little nervous sometimes. So anyway, I don't have too much further to go back down the trail, so I'll put you guys back in the shoulder strap there, and we'll head back to the van. Still going? Yeah, all right. Well, we have a red blinking light there, and as the battery started to go, it automatically slowed down to about 10, maybe 8 miles an hour in order to be able to go a little bit further. I had to walk a couple of times up a hill and barely made it back to the van. So that was a blast going up the river trail there. I got pretty far. I got about 5.5 miles up, and then obviously I had to come back 5.5 miles. So 11 miles round trip, barely made it back to the van. But there are a couple of factors because of that, because I do exceed the weight limit of this thing. I think they said the max is about 220. I'm sitting about 260. So that's going to put excess strain on the battery, and also too, if you go up hills and whatnot. Not to mention the times that I did stop and just kind of let it sit idle. Now this thing will turn off on its own. I think it's after like a couple of minutes or whatever, it will automatically power down. But all in all, yeah, I love it. And I'm honestly, I got to do some grocery shopping, but I'm going to take it back home, put it on the charge, and I may take it out a little bit later today to the rail trail that goes not too far from my house. Maybe we'll go on down and see the Howard Tunnel. But anyway, guys, gotta head out. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.